What's going on, YouTube? For one of my first videos here, I wanted to talk about the Video Game Awards and how crazy that was. I mean, we had a really interesting show, but man, was there a lot going on there. And I think we all know, the pretty big reveal for anybody that's watched it, the fact that fucking Astrobot won. So for anybody that doesn't know, spoiler alert, right? Astrobot won Game of the Year, and that has been pretty much not on anybody's radar. Nobody fucking expected that shit, and I don't think we agreed with it. I don't think anybody agreed. I'll tell you who did agree with it, though: the jury. Okay, so if you don't know, because I didn't know, the Video Game Awards is basically made up of 10%. I think it was 10% the community or something like that, and 90% a jury. What does that mean? That basically means that there is some, who knows, hoopla, whoville, judge, jury, executioner type motherfuckers out there that are trying to say that this is the game that we want to see win. And it really makes you question and wonder if somebody was being paid. Let's talk about it. Sony may have paid whoever, this jury, right, to basically rate Astrobot. So let's take a look here. I actually didn't see this until XQC posted it on one of his videos he was showing. I think everybody, oh, don't mind Warframe 1999 here. I'm eager to play that. I'm gonna have to stream this. We're also going to take a look at Moist's reaction today. Let's see what Moist says and what he has to say about it. The Game Awards, 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary. And what's so crazy about this too, at least this year, I feel like out of any year has proven that since E3 is pretty much gone, dead in the water, that this is what a lot of gamers look to. I mean, they had a lot of announcements here. I mean, we had a lot of expansions, things from Helldivers 2 to Warframe 1999, as you just saw there. Even the new stuff, the big one, Witcher 4. Oh man. So let's go here. So FAQ. Let's do this. X, bitch. Okay. The award process. How are nominees selected? So let's read this. Nominees for most categories of the Game Awards are chosen by an international jury of over 100 global media and influencer outlets. Let's see what are they talking about here? Voting jury. Oh, it's a loop. It's a loop. Looks like the website is a loop. Okay, so over US, UK, global, esports. We don't even really know what that means. I guess maybe that's something that you can apply for. Who even knows? Okay, let's continue reading this. Specialized juries also convene for other categories, including esports, accessibility, and best adaptation. Each voting outlet completes a confidential, unranked ballot based on the collective and diverse opinion of its entire editorial staff, listing out its top 5 choices in each category. Ballots are tabulated, and the 5 gamers that appear, and the 5 games that appear the most on the most ballots are put forth as nominees. In the event of a tie, 6 or more nominees will be announced in the category. Game Awards producer. Oh wow! So Geoff Keighley, Mr. Keighley, he is a Game Awards producer. I didn't know that. That's new news to me too. He is not a member of the jury. It does not vote on the nominees or winners. Similarly, the Game Awards Advisory Board has no involvement in the awards process and learns the results. Okay, but this year alone, right? This year alone, it almost seems kind of like that's just basically been disproven, right? Like what jury? Oh, we didn't even see it here. Let's get back to this. Winners are determined by a blended vote between the voting jury 90% and the public fan voting 10%. Fans can vote for their favorite game on thegameawards.com. In China, fans can vote on the winners via Bilibili. 90%. That means 90% when there's a 10% community vote or public fan vote. It's incredibly disproportional. It just means how can you not say, oh, when there's a jury involved, that there's not somebody being able to be paid off and say, oh, hey, vote for this game. That clearly shouldn't have won. Let's see what Moise has to say about
Greasy.
it.
What about it? First thing in the morning, haven't showered, worked out right before bed, didn't shower. Big whoop. Can't handle a little grease? Get out of the kitchen. Last night was the Game Awards where Geoff Keighley teabagged us all with some big announcements and some big awards. And there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, That was the biggest stream I've ever done in my life. I had 110,000.
It was a long time. I mean, it was what, over 3 hours long. It was over 3 hours long, and he had a lot of concurrent viewers. I think a lot of people did. Oh yeah, look, his video is almost 5 hours long. So maybe it was longer. I don't know. I tuned in like after the beginning was a little ways through.
Peak concurrent viewers on YouTube and 20,000 on Twitch. 130,000 total viewers on one of my live streams is unfathomable to me. Can't even get the words out.
Yeah,
So
welcome to
huge
the club.
thanks to you for anyone that tuned in. That was cool. Big thanks to Jeff Keighley for making my biggest stream of all time.
Thank
I
you,
worked
Jeff.
really hard on watching the Game Awards this year. I put a lot of work into my reactions, so I'm glad to see that this was the stream that
Does anybody else struggle with Jeff Keighley and you want to say like Joffrey because you watched too much Game of Thrones? Okay, maybe it's just me.
popped off so big for me. But there's just aside from that, there's some things I want to talk about with like the announcements as well as the big talk of the town, game of the year. First and foremost, there were some big announcements that I absolutely think are worth getting excited for. Some shit that I don't think even Baba Vanga would have predicted were revealed at the awards show here. I know there's a ton of naysayers saying nothing good got shown. It all looks like trash.
Who said that? Who? I would love to know who in their right mind honestly would have said something like that. That doesn't make any sense. We had so many good games. Turok, a new Turok Origins got shown by Saber Interactive, which is the people that did Warhammer 20K, Space Marine 2 that just came out. Who said that? Who said that? We throwing hands.
But I would say don't listen to the paint chip eating weirdos that are still soiling their diapers. Like, that is actual delusion. Like, sure, you can say, I'm not really looking forward to, maybe the next Elden Ring game, which I'm going to get into in a moment because it seems it's going in a weird direction. But to say that there were no good announcements blows my mind.
Elden Ring
we
is
had a fucking Okami sequel announcement.
an Okami sequel.
Can you, like, I feel like people that think there was nothing good shown here don't actually play games,
or they just didn't watch it. That's another one. If you watched the Game Awards and you said nothing good came out of that Game Awards, you didn't even fucking watch it. Be honest.
Because that alone is huge. We got a new Onimusha, a new Virtua Fighter. To keep in mind, Virtua Fighter.
You know, what's so funny about the Virtua Fighter? I know I keep pausing this, but there's just so much. That's what I'm saying. There was so much that came out of that. I don't know what anybody is talking about, but that Virtua Fighter, I thought it was a new one. Maybe I need to go back and look at it. But it looked like on Steam, what was actually being shown to wishlist is Virtua Fighter Repo? Let's pull it up. Let's go to the store. So you go to this year's highlights and more. Snoop Doggy Dogg, DOWG, Rebirth. Finally. Yep, there it is. Virtua Fighter 5, Revo, like Revolution. I guess that's what it is. Revolution, like maybe they're redoing it. I don't know, revamp. Was that another like mini announcement that I just missed?
Fighter hasn't had a new real game since 2007. We got a new game from the Shadow of the Colossus team. Like, these are huge games that I cannot wait to see. Like, these are OG from back in like the golden era of really creative works.
Thank you.
So I'm super excited to see a new iteration into these franchises. Like, I think that's really exciting. And then for new franchises, they announced Project Century, which looks really good. Naughty Dog's got a new IP.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm breaking the timeline here. I just showered, but I have to replace this section here as I was listing new IPs that they announced last night.
What kind of cut is that? Shower, not shower. Okay, cool. Or not shower, then shower. Let's see if he cuts back to a not shower.
So that's why my hair is wet instead of greasy now. Just want to peel back the curtain on that a little bit on why it changed so drastically.
He must have gotten so self-conscious that the fact that he had greasy hair while he was recording the video that he noticed it, went to take a quick shower, and then came back.
But some of the other IPs that they announced that look great. First Berserker, Kazan. Dispatch.
Also a good one.
The Pac-Man secret level game, Shadow Labyrinth. Like, there's just a lot they showed that I actually think is super cool. So I was really impressed with the trailers and really surprised that people thought there was nothing good that they revealed. It actually baffles my fucking noodle up here that anyone would think that. I really think it's people just wanting everything to be bad. So they'll put on their
Yeah,
biggest
negative
frown
Nancy's.
and just pretend that it was all negative and it's all lame, throwaway shovelware. The gaming industry is so cooked. I also just forgot they revealed a new Turok. There hasn't been a new
Thank you.
Turok since 2008. I used to make montages on the
A new
2008
Turok,
Turok game
man.
when I
That's
was
what.
still in fucking middle school. Turok as an IP has been dead and dusted for almost 2 decades. The last time I touched a new Turok game, I hadn't even held a girl's hand. And now, in 2024, we get a fucking Turok announcement? How is that not hype? Like, it just, I don't understand why everyone is so desperate for everything to be the worst it can possibly be,
Right.
even when there is, like, real positive shit that they showed from the announcements. That's exciting. And gaming, I think AAA gaming is kind of cooked. Like, at least
Oh, yeah.
Western devs, it's been fucking floundering left and right. I've talked about this a lot. But where the AAA space is eating ass, the rest of the world is blessing us with great games. Like, we haven't had this many international releases to this quality ever. And indie games.
That's exactly like my point is 2024. This is what I was telling all of my friends, everybody I know, basically. The fact that this year alone coming up, I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year, right? Right? That's confirmed, 2025. And really, it was the start of this season, right? Start of the winter season here, that we are getting a lot of good games. We had Spartan Zero, we had Warhammer, Space Marine 2, we just had Path of Exile 2, and Marvel Rivals. Whatever you want to say about Marvel Rivals, it is pretty fun. So there's that. We had a really good slew of games this season, and really this year wasn't too bad overall. But now moving into next year, 2025, we're looking hot.
Games have never been better. Like, the gaming industry as a whole, I think, is in a good space, and I think it's a good thing that some of these legacy AAA studios are eating so much shit. Like Ubisoft. I spit on Ubisoft every chance I get. I've been hawking loogies at
Should I change my name?
them for many, many months now. But they deserve it. Like, they are digging their own grave. They just released a fucking NFT game in 2024. Like, come on. So while Ubisoft might be having this cartoonish fall where they're just perpetually slipping on ice as their stock price continues to plummet, where they might not make it, there will be other games that will fill that void. And they'll probably get bought by Tencent. I really think Ubisoft will end up getting bought by Tencent. I don't think that's going to save any of the properties that they have, but that's my little game theory, my hypothesis there. What we'll have is more room for great games like a Black Myth Wukong, or great indie games like a Nine Souls. Still very upset Nine Souls didn't get a single nomination, by the way. Anyway, though, I'll stop going on that tangent. Let's talk about something I just briefly mentioned that I talked about quite a bit during the stream. The new Elden Ring, Night Rain. When they first showed it, man, I was kicking my little feet in my chair. I was so happy. It's clearly not a battle royale.
But we thought.
I'm so fucking hyped. I really,
Look, the Nameless
oh my
King.
God, the Nameless King. I'm gonna come.
I mean, you can't.
Jiminy Christmas.
I have been telling people. I have been telling so many people. Okay, when Elden Ring first came out, I was disappointed. I know. Stab me with a stake. The point is, I was disappointed because I was expecting something like radically different from Dark Souls. Radically different. Like a Sekiro or Bloodborne or something to that effect. Elden Ring, I don't care what you say. Elden Ring is Dark Souls in a bigger world, in a more open world. That's what Elden Ring is. I love it. I've come to love it. I've come to accept what it is. But I was taken back. I was disappointed. I really was. Now, that's not to say I still didn't invest, 100 hours into it, and then 100 more when Shadow of the Erdtree came out. And that's not to say I'm not going to invest 100 more. What is it called? Night Rain? But still, I have been telling so many people it is Dark Souls. It's basically Dark Souls. It's like maybe a new world, maybe it's in... The fact that the Nameless King, let's go back here. For you OG Dark Souls 3 fans, Dark Souls 3, this is the Nameless King. This is the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. This is a Dark Souls game. To me, this confirms Dark Souls universe.
Christmas. That guy just has an eagle for a head. That's the most American patriotic shit I ever seen. So it's not DLC. They said it's a standalone. So it's a new Elden Ring game? All that excitement soon turned to excrement. The more I learned about it, the more I started to get more and more worried and kind of shitting on the concept. So Night Rain is a roguelike co-op survival boss rush type experience with battle royale elements. Like that bird you saw right there is actually like their battle bus, according to the people that played. Oh,
where did he hear this?
Like, I have nothing but faith in FromSoft, but I am really concerned that this might be their first blemish, and this is not with Sony buying Kadokawa yet. So this is a FromSoft decision, and I'm gonna be honest, sports fans. I'll play some clips from the stream where you can see the realization wash over me that this might not actually be good. But I think this really might not be very good. I don't like the concept.
Where did he hear
I do
that?
not think it makes a whole lot of sense for a Souls game, but I am willing to be proven wrong, hoping I'll be proven wrong. Please don't let me down, FromSoft. The vibes get even stranger when you see a battle royale style wall of deadly rain encircling the map and characters dashing around on
PC
foot.
Mag?
Wait, what? Night Rain is Elden Ring Turbo, condensed 3-player roguelike with a little dash of Monster Hunter to it as you choose a final boss to face at the end of a 30-ish minute run.
Assuming you survive 2 days of the circle shrinking to a focal point somewhere and all. What?
That's assuming you survive 2 days of the circle shrinking to focal points where someone in Alt Limgrave.
No.
Each
This
night
no.
culminating in its own tough boss battle. I don't really love that. Yeah, I know Miyazaki's not on it. That's what chat was saying, but even still, that just seems like such a blatant cash grab. I don't like that. I mean, maybe again, I have nothing but faith in FromSoft in general, but that direction I'm not super stoked on.
You know, I'm willing to give it a shot. That's what I'll say. Shadow of the Erdtree was different. It surprised me. It was, empty, but good. I'm willing to give it a shot.
When I started my first session by dropping onto the map from a spectral bird, the entrance was so Fortnite coded. I wondered if From Software was joining the live service.
Somebody
party
played
with
it
a
already?
Battle Pass seasonal event and $20 epic skins. So that's what the bird was that they showed. That's their like battle bus dropping. Oh fuck me. Oh yikes.
Can I get some quality?
We wanted to have
what
a
the
game
hell?
that
Why am I
followed
watching
the
it at
complete
480p?
package out of the box on the
man?
day of purchase, so everything is unlockable. It's not what we'd consider a live service game. We're still in the process of thinking about possibilities. No PvP elements at all, no invasions, no esoteric multiplayer covenants. We wanted to have a sense of accomplishment. You don't put those words together.
A la Dark Souls.
You never put those words together.
A sense of accomplishment from each defeat.
You never put sense of accomplishment like that.
We wanted this to be different from Elden Ring's past titles?
I'm a little worried this might be FromSoft's first miss. And this isn't even Sony's fault. This is before they're getting bought out by Sony. Shit. Well, okay, I'm counting my chickens before they hatch.
Yo.
But man, how do you even make that good? That is like the antithesis to a Souls experience. Like, I think you can make a roguelike work. I think you can make roguelike elements work. What I'm not convinced you can make work is a battle royale influenced boss rush. Has Miyazaki-san had any input in the game, or is he strictly hands-off on the project? Initially, I took the idea to Miyazaki-san, who gave it the green light.
So what does that mean then, that you can fight Dark Souls bosses in a spin-off? Oh, look at this. We Live fans are thinking Night Rain as an Elden Ring spin-off, first and foremost. The story is completely separate and parallel to the world of Elden Rings. If you had to tie it in some way, we had the events of the Shattering. We had the events of the Shattering in the original game, After the events of the Shattering, this is a completely separate branch of the Elden Ring story. So they're trying to do some Marvel multi-universe type deal. Okay. Okay. I'm still willing to give it a shot. But
He was a little involved in that initial concept phase of the game, but after that he gave full reign to me. Stop yapping about Elden Ring, and now let's blabber about the big one, game of the year. I've said for a while my game
that's
of
the
the
big
year was Black Myth Wukong. My favorite games of the year were Black Myth Wukong, Nine Souls, and Space Marine 2.
I think Wukong as a new IP just out of the dark, been in development for a while. We've seen the trailers and everything. I think in that regard, Wukong should have won Game of the Year. If it were up to me, if I were on the jury, it would have been Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just saying.
absolutely fucking loved those three games. Astrobot, I do think is a good game.
Never
It
played.
would be my personal game of the year, but that is what took home the gold medal. Come on, Wukong.
Somehow.
I think it's gonna be Astrobot. Like I said, I think it'll probably be
And the game
Astrobot.
of the year is
he predicted
but I'm
it.
pulling for Wukong, please.
Astrobot.
Damn it! Fuck! I told you though. There were a lot of people upset about this dubski from Astrobot here, especially during stream in the chat. I think a lot of people didn't play Astrobot because a lot of people kind of wrote it off as just being like a throwaway.
Well, it was a
platformer,
Sony
even
exclusive.
Though it was like a game journalist darling
PlayStation
that had
5.
like 10s across the board. Trust in game journalists has never been lower, for good reason. Just look at IGN. They're really going hog
IGN,
wild
man.
on fives for like actually good things.
GG,
Like,
IGN, GG.
it's at a point where a lot of people don't really care what a game journalist review has to say about something. So people didn't put a lot of stock into something. Unlike a lot of
Well, I don't want to take from the full video. I think you get the gist. Go check out Penguin Moist's video. He pretty much describes exactly what I'm talking about here. I wanted to see if our thoughts correlated, and seeing that they do. But yeah, so that was the summary of it. You can go ahead and check out a lot of the Game Awards highlights all over YouTube. I just... How? The Game Awards is supposed to be a new E3. Technically, now. Seems to be what it's like going forward. It's supposed to be the new version of E3. And this is what we get. Astrobot. Astrobot Game of the Year. Not a good start. Not a good start. I don't want to change my name. Ubisoft, do better. Do better. All right. Signing out.